Hey everybody. So I know it has been a while. I just found that as winter was ending here in Vancouver and the spring was taking its sweet ass time, that I was honestly a little bit depressed and struggling to like find that lift and any kind of creativity, to be honest. It just kind of felt like whatever it is that usually kind of brings this reservoir of ideas and creativity, it just had kind of dried up. And so I took the time to study and to rest and to write and do the things that kind of would feed me, because it's not the easiest thing. So church today is about toiling. If you grew up in the church, you have heard all of these verses about working while the sun is shining, and all of the ones that tell us about, as women, the things that we should be doing in order to be good wives and all that crap. And basically teaches us that toiling is virtuous. So this episode of church is to tell you that that is absolute bullshit. Toiling is work fueled by anxiety, really. It's work of the should. Right? You should be doing this in order to earn your place. You should be doing this in order to find success, in order to be able to be worthy of your purpose. But let me tell you, your purpose is yours. Toiling is unnecessary. So, I was listening to Oprah the other day. I think it was with, I don't know if it was Richard Rohr, but she was saying how bringing your personality to serve your vocation is finding the center of your purpose. And honestly, those are things you naturally have. Your natural personality, along with the gifts that you have been given, and that feels natural to you. These things are how we find the center of our purpose and our spiritual center, and how we can go through our lives without a feeling of inadequacy, without a feeling of anxiety, and feel like we're in the center of our purpose, spiritually speaking. Now, Oprah was also saying that if there's something that you can do in the situation, if there's something that you can do towards your goal that feels good, right? Or that you feel is the right thing, then do it. And if there isn't, then do nothing. And that feels like that's like against what we were taught, right? We were taught that if you do nothing, you deserve nothing. And we're not saying do nothing like go and like just sit on your butt. What we are saying is go and find a centeredness, find the quiet, be quiet, find your centeredness and listen. And whatever the next step is will become clear. The next step is not going to become clear if you're full of anxiety and you're running around and you're trying to build worthiness from scratch, right? Because you already are worthy. So sitting and trying to connect spiritually is really what is going to make clear what the next step is, right? Instead of this toiling bullshit, this busy work. Now, as far as the shoulds are concerned, I am a professional musician, but I'm also a part-time server. And because of that, I see people come into the hotel that I work at, and they are doing the 4 hours, 5 hours of covers a night, and they are working musicians. And for the longest time, I would watch them come in and sing their covers, and no one really cared. But I thought, you know what? I should be doing that. Why aren't I doing that? I'm failing. I'm not getting where I should go, and it's my own fault because I'm not doing what these people are doing. I'm not working and singing covers 4 or 8 hours a day, so I don't deserve it. But you know what I have found recently is that I have this personality, I have this mind, I have this spiritual capacity and a way of bringing my heart to you and to people when I'm doing shows as well. And that is comedy, that is me spilling my guts and oversharing, but it's bigger than just having a voice. It's bigger than just singing. It's bigger than even being a songwriter. It's bringing all of those things, that gifting that I have that's so obvious, and bringing my personality giftings to serve it. And recently, things have started to come up. Projects that never would have come up before have started to come up that are the amalgamation of all of it. And it's so exciting. I can't talk about it yet, but it's come out of nowhere. You guys, I'm 36. And I have been in the music biz for a long time. I've been chasing it for a long time. I've been writing for a long time. I've been singing in public since I was 2. So you can imagine how many times I've been close to it, right? Close to making it, to having the right team, the right guy, the right producer, right? And it never has happened. But it's only in the last probably year that I have realized that I have so much more to offer than just myself as a singer-songwriter. And had I been successful 10 years ago, I probably would have been taken advantage of in some terrible power dynamic with some toxic masculinity. Sorry about it, not sorry. And I would have probably, it would have ruined everything. I probably would have ruined music for me in a lot of ways, and it would have totally had me disillusioned, right? If not, a drug addict or an alcoholic or crazy anorexic. So I tell you this because these things that are coming up now, if I hadn't done the work on myself, if I hadn't realized that my purpose, my finding the center of God's will for me or the universe's will for me is to have my whole personality that I've always been told is too much, too loud, too whatever, bringing that bigness to serve my musicianship and my messaging is actually an amazingly unique, beautiful thing. So if you're a lot, that could actually pay dividends for you. So stop fucking shrinking for the sake of the dudes or some dude in the music industry who says you're too much or you're too. No, forget it. Now, the allegory that Science Mike on the Liturgist podcast talks about, he uses this metaphor of there's a river, and on the banks of the river are trees. And so some of the roots from the trees are actually in the river, they have come out of the ground. And here we are holding on to the roots. The river's going past us. We're terrified. We're hanging on to the roots. And that root is the story you're telling. The root is you saying, this is where I want to be. I want to be, the new Adele. I want to be the new Celine Dion. That's what I want to be. I want to be in Vegas doing this show in a gown, maybe play one song on the piano. And you have this idea and you hang on because you think if you let go, all of it will disappear. You'll become lazy somehow and you won't deserve any of it, right? You hang on to the anxiety and the story because you feel like that toiling is what is earning you your dreams. Science Mike talks about how the river is the universe or God, right? We can call her Mother River for those of you who the pronouns bug. So the trick is to let go of the story. Let go of those roots, let go of the shore and allow yourself to believe that the river is wise and kind and on your side and the river knows better, right? To let go and surrender and open your hands and just let it take you. That we don't have to toil and stress and earn it with this anxiety and misery, right? We're taught in the church that there is some kind of lashing of ourselves, that self-flagellation that we have to do in order to be worthy of our dreams. And it's not true. All we have to do is keep on developing that which was planted in us. And then bring all the things we have learned, all the things that we have been taught, all of the things that have developed within us together to fertilize and grow that seed, right? So surrender, don't toil. So am I saying do nothing? Am I saying float? Don't clean a toilet. Don't do anything you don't want to do. No. What I'm saying is lean into what it is that makes you, you. If you are a big mouth, if you are a big girl, If you are a big, intense energy, if you are an introvert that is the most creative when you're by yourself and you don't want to go out there, lean into that a little bit. It doesn't mean that if you're introverted, you're not going to have to go out and network. You still will, right? Because that is how you build relationships. But at the end of the day, figure out what it is that makes you a weirdo, that makes you different, that makes the world a little uncomfortable sometimes, and figure out how that can come to serve what you've been given, right? That's the key to me. And instead of thinking, what can I get from everyone I meet? You think, what can I give? When I lived in Nashville, there was this underlying sense of desperation. Everywhere you go, everyone has a card with their face on it. I had them, they're awful. And everyone has like a downloadable card or a CD somewhere with them or in their vehicle to give you, right? Everyone. Every barista is a songwriter. So every interaction you have feels like bullshit because all the person is thinking is, are you worthy of this conversation? Is this a waste of my time? This connection? Or do you have something to give me? Something that will help me climb this ladder because I'm desperate. And I think the key there is healthy people are turned off by that spirit of lack. Predators are attracted to it. Now, the next Feminist Friday, we're going to talk about power dynamics. But all I'll say about it for now is if you are going into these situations where you're networking or even going into your life with a spirit of lack and a spirit of desperation and not having enough, you're going to attract the wrong people. Yeah, you'll attract people. You'll attract a guy who's like, give me, $50,000 and fuck me and I'll make you a star, right? That guy's attracted to that spirit of lack. But the people that you want to work with, the healthy people, are going to feel your fullness, your self-knowledge that you are enough and you have something to give. I'm going into the situation going, I know I have something to give and I want to give it. Not like I have something to give, so not from a place of like defensiveness, but I know I have something beautiful and I would love to be able to find the right marriage for that, the right collaboration for that. And if you and I are meant to do something great, we will. And if not, it'll find a home. But that comes from a deep sense of fullness, right? Instead of coming in thinking, I have to meet somebody. Then when you go into those conversations with the people who are a big deal, you're not going in being like, hi, like me. You're going in going like, hey, this is what I do. And you can have a real conversation with them. And they don't feel like you're coming in going like, what can I get from you? It's not a good look. I remember my first time ever going to Canadian Music Week. My executive producer, he gave Katie Lang her start. He said to me, go there. If you're going to go like you need nothing from anyone. Walk through, do all the things, like go to all the seminars, like Quincy Jones was there that year and it was a crazy year. But you don't need anything. You're full. If you want to have a conversation with someone, do it. But don't worry about trying to like network and like schmooze. You need nothing from anyone. You have everything you need. And what a piece of advice is that? Go through the world like you already have your wildest dreams, like you're already completely full, and see what happens. What happened there was I would walk through the floor of this, like all of these industry people. And every time I would have multiple people say, excuse me, I'm sorry, who are you? Right? Because I'm going through with this presence of enough. I am full. I don't need anything from you. I only have something to give, which is kindness, which is genuineness, which is connection. And let me tell you, if you go into a situation, instead of from a place of fear, which is how we get the spirit of lack, right? Fear, I'm not enough. I'm not going to make it the way I want to. I'm never going to be fulfilled. I'm never going to fulfill my purpose. All of this anxiety, right, comes from fear. But instead, we come in with a spirit of love and power. right? You walk in and you go, how can I love on these people? When I have a conversation, I want to know about them, right? And it's not about, I want you to know about me and I want to not drop a few names and your ego. If you have had amazing opportunities, you will find, if you look back on every opportunity that you had that blew your freaking mind, most of the time, those opportunities feel like they come out of nowhere. It wasn't because you were toiling and you were doing something you hate in order to, self-flagellate, overuse of that word probably now, sorry about it, in order to earn it, right? Earn it with misery. But instead, it's probably a real connection that you made with someone who then talked to someone else or whatever, and an opportunity came, right? They come out of nowhere when the universe says, you're ready, right? And there's nothing that you could have done to prepare yourself ahead of time, because life is what is preparing you, right? Walking through life is what is preparing you. So just remember that yeah, we can do the work, we can practice our craft, we can live our lives, but really it's about living your life, going through your life with a spirit of kindness and openness and surrender, and trusting that the universe is kind and wise and has your back. So all of this is to say, we don't have to toil. You can surrender and let the river take you, because you are being prepared for what you need. That doesn't mean don't practice, but it does mean that the things that you naturally have and you naturally lean into, you naturally want to do, are the things that are going to develop into a purpose, a job, a calling that is going to fulfill you, and that you will be able to give and fulfill the world with, that will be a gift to the world. And that when you look at other people and you think, oh, they're being successful, I should do that too. What are they doing that I'm not doing? Maybe I can fit myself into that mold. Stop. Because it is possible that what they're doing is great for them, but doesn't actually bring you any closer to what you're going to end up doing. And what you're going to end up doing will be spectacularly suited just for you. So you could toil and toil and toil to learn 100 covers and play in places where nobody gives a shit, right? Or you could continue, get quiet, get still, let go of your ego and go, how can I serve? And how can my personality come to serve my giftings so that I can find the center of my purpose? So that I can find my calling, so that I can be the most serving to the agenda of the universe. Because the universe is kind and wise, and Mother River, she wants to take us where we're supposed to go. So we don't need to worry about it. So this week when you want to toil, and those should stories tell you that you are inadequate, and unless you do this thing that you hate, you're never going to be successful, don't buy it. Get still and ask the universe to reveal to you what the next step is, and then do that. All right. I'm back in the saddle, so I will be making more and more shows. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring the little bell so you always know when something new is coming. The sun is out, so I think I'm getting enough vitamin D now to be able to not just be super depressed, but probably some sad Janet Arden-esque songs on the way. Anyway, love you, mean it. I will see you soon.